It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh, let's review.
Season 2. We'll analyze the scene.
Sounds holly and jolly to me.
Before it's over, let's begin.
Bum.
Bomb. Again.
That's right, folks. Since the Christmas season's upon us, we thought the way to celebrate and get into the holiday spirit would be with some holiday reviews.
12 to be exact. Decoratively divided into 4 categories for your Yuletide pleasure.
So, without further ado, as I do my bad Thurl Ravencroft impression, silver up those bells, light the multicolored lights, and go out and build a snowman. As you join us for some seasonal shenanigans. Yeah, BlueDragonFive, I think I'm going to stick to Miss Piggy. Anytime I try to do another voice, it just comes out all wrong. It's bad. All right, so we're here, BlueDragonFive. We're at the end of our run. How's it feel?
Complete.
Yes, yes, indeed, indeed. So last year at the end of seasonal shenanigans, we took a look at a Charlie Brown Christmas. Now we're basically going to take a look at essentially the spiritual, the spiritual brethren of the Charlie Brown Christmas. This is one of the hallmarks, along with that special and a very, very select few other specials that are just absolute timeless classics and a reason to kind of have them as the finale for our seasonal shenanigans. So this year, we thought the perfect way to end things out would be taking a look at the 1966 classic Chuck Jones animated Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Literally follows Charlie Brown Christmas a year afterwards.
Nice. That's perfect.
Which, by the way, just to mention it, because I know we're not really talking about it again, but just Charlie Brown Christmas has reached 50 years this year.
Oh, yeah, very true. Very true.
I wanted to mention that since we're on kind of our last kind of same kind of, we try to save kind of the best, most defining one for last if we can.
And I think both of those selections are very appropriate. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you have something in mind, but I'll be curious to see what tops these two, or at least measures up to these.
Well, I know one that's going to measure up to it. I know. Evan, right?
Okay, keep it in your back pocket, though. Keep
I
it
know.
in your back pocket. That's for next year.
Okay.
But Jack, we only have 364 days before next Christmas. Okay.
And what this one is also doing, folks, is a little bit of our kind of our retrospective one too here.
Oh yeah, big one. So we're just gonna kind of go beat by beat through it, and it's it's a very simple story. So I'm sure we'll kind of get into like our memories and whatnot as we go along. Do you have any kind of like opening statements about it before we do the deep dive?
How the Grinch, of course, is based on the Dr. Seuss book, and just it follows the book, but does a wondrous thing where it takes kind of the Dr. Seuss story, and with Dr. Seuss involved, of course, much like Charles Schultz was involved with the Charlie Brown animated special. I mean, again, just turned into another thing just in itself that just kind of defined not just animation but storytelling of how you can tell a Christmas story that people just kind of look to as like the defining Christmas story and try to plus with their own. You have that with the Grinch in a different way. It's kind of the anti-Charlie Brown Christmas in terms of like you from a villain's perspective, and a villain you wrote a root for, that the holiday season just kind of permeates his heart and permeates our hearts at the same time, just seeing no one's really all bad, and we all have different views of the season.
I mean, there's so many good moral messages that can be gleaned from the special. And granted, I really respect that Charlie Brown Christmas took the risk of like directly quoting the Bible, but I think the way it plays out here is even just more pure and good-hearted. It's like, oh god, there's one particular moment, and it's not hard to guess which moment it is, that absolutely melts my heart every time I see it.
And another thing with the Grinch is just to mention that this is one of the big collaborations, one of the biggest collaborations in animation, just between Chuck Jones and Ted Geisel, between Dr. Seuss and Chuck Jones. You just have this meetings of this very creative mind, just one of the brilliant animators and animation directors of our time here. And it shows in the special and the design work and just kind of how the animation's so fluid, how it's beautiful, how again it's ingrained itself in the culture because it's just everything's firing on all cylinders at a creative level in the inception and also just in the execution. It's flawless.
Absolutely.
In many ways.
All right. So without further ado, do you want to jump right into it?
Sure, sure. Let's start.
Okay. So one thing I noticed in the credits that I want to point out really quick that I thought was kind of fun, it's like, and Boris Karloff is the Grinch, and read by Boris Karloff too. I just thought that was a fun way of stating he was a narrator.
This is gonna sound very, very minor, but I love the font. I don't know, I love like the blue screen, little snowflakes in there for the opening credits and then
Oh,
the
I hear you.
closing
I
credits.
totally hear
It's
you.
just simple and I like it.
You like it, damn straight.
Nothing major about it. Just it's nice.
All right, so we have a song that kicks things off. You know, the classic "Fa Hu Do Re."
Welcome Christmas song.
Oh God, it's classic.
So we see the Who's are decorating for Christmas, and very creative visuals of convenient decorating methods, such as like the decorating via springs, and like some have bow and arrows that turn to decorations. Cindy Lou holding the wreath, which is always a good shot. Just introduce a little again smartly with this special. You'll notice that they're kind of like a continuity is formed somewhat, and that they track Cindy Lou Who because she has a bit in the book. And again, they're just taking the framework of the book, which is much shorter. It reads much shorter than the special in many ways, because again, it's hard to believe this special is so economic with the storytelling and what's communicated visually, and it's adding more stuff than the book had. And again, you look at something like the movie does that in the wrong way.
Let's just try and just stay away from the movie for the most part, because literally watching this thing again made me more angry at the movie than I was when I just rewatched it on its own right.
I will,
but let's just try and stay away from that.
Okay, but there's one bit where I'm gonna have to, because I forgot to chew it out during the movie thing during the naughty section, so I have to bring it up here because it's my biggest gripe with the movie, and I feel bad that I forgot about it.
And I'm just gonna give an obligatory fuck you to the whole like boo-hoo sequence when we get to
I know exactly. So basically, I think we'll just allow ourselves like those two bits just to kind of harp on, just like show. As long as we praise the special of the movie, I think it'll be on point.
Right.
As long as we highlight what the special does correctly over that. Okay, so point is, with tracking Cindy Lou, though, it is clever in that Cindy Lou just has AC in the book, and here you're tracking her through the thing, so you kind of recognize that. Okay, oh yeah, I've seen this kid before. I kind of care about
her. Yeah, totally.
So again, it's really clever in that. Just again, it's really making the most out of every little bit, even with kind of just our opening song. It's not really at first intended to be anything, but of course by the end it comes full circle and means a lot more than it did. It really holds up in the rewatch because of that. So Cindy Lou Who's a little introduction there, and then we meet the Grinch. Again, first of all, before we get further into this, let's just say Boris Karloff is an excellent narrator, isn't he?
Impeccable, absolutely impeccable.
Again, it's just like the voice again, and one last movie comparison, because it's just in the vein of narrator. Again, just Anthony Hopkins is great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Boris Karloff, there's no beating. He just has this great kind of calm demeanor. Again, it's similar yet different than the Grinch. It's like just slightly different. Like the Grinch has a little more passion, a little more emotional range, but the narrator still has this calming voice for you there, just like just kind of reading this tale without emotions fused into it.
Yeah, so we see the Grinch. He's kind of just leaning on a rock up on Mount Crumpet, chewing on a toothpick.
The Grinch who just lived north of Whoville did not. Yeah, so first of all, don't you remember the toothpick animation? Oh my god, this thing always stuck in my mind as a kid. Like,
right.
Just again, this is Chuck Jones animation style is really neatly applied here, because you can see all the Tom and Jones shades applied to this too. Like, don't get me wrong, I think was this before his Tom and Jerry stuff?
Oh, I'd have to look that up, man. I want to say no, but I'd have to look it up to be sure.
Well, regardless, you can see a lot of shades of kind of like a lot of Jerry Mouse animation in the toothpick scene.
Oh yeah.
And throughout, though, a lot of Tom animation is on the Grinch predominantly, if you'll notice. But I'm saying like just kind of the chewing, kind of leaning on stuff. That's usually Jerry Mouse's shtick, and you kind of get to see a lot of that kind of. Even the Grinch here is like chewing the thing to the side, and there's all the little mouth movements. Chuck Jones is great, like kind of continuity on the line marks, Anyway, so it's just like chewing that thing. It's like he's just chewing, like swallowing that tooth. There's man, this guy, you don't want to mess with this guy.
Yeah, so we get some classic semantics of the Grinch. Some say that his shoes were too tight.
So one more thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just to feed into that is what's playing throughout the scene. It really makes this scene stick out. Every time I've rewatched this, this always sticks out to me. I think it's brilliant. It's that you have the score, the Grinch's like You're Me When Mr. Grinch score play. within this scene as you just kind of meet the Grinch. Dun, 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 dun. It's like the music starting to get in your head, like incepted into your mind in that moment. It's really neat.
I love the way that the song just works its way through the whole special, essentially.
Oh, yeah, it's like you have like this fa hoo hooray stuff. You have the fa hoo hooray, da, da, the welcome Christmas time. You have that playing, and then of course like it's all happy go lucky. Dun, 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 dun. And of course like you have this really great dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, it's like the interesting part of the special just like is slithering into it. So it's like instantly communicating to the audience. It's not just your happy-go-lucky Christmas special. There's going to be something interesting about this one.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, so
it is interesting. I think it's a very subversive Christmas special in terms of we're rooting for the bad guy the whole time. He's literally stealing Christmas, and we think it's a load of fun.
And you got to remember, this is a gutsy thing at the time because it's
totally.
A villain is our protagonist. I think it's kind of meant intentionally for first and foremost, it's kind of meant for kids, and you're rooting for the villain. You're emphasizing with the villain, and this kind of piggybacks off one of our other seasonal shenanigans with Perp and Landing, where our main protagonist is kind of acting unseasonally.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I know it's more complicated. I'm just saying it's like in a similar vein. This is like the original thing, kind of set the building blocks for having a protagonist that's not exactly, it's not exactly in the seasonal spirit for your Christmas, but not just like he can't get into it. I'm just saying just like he's just completely the opposite. Like, oh, I hate this. I hate Christmas.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, your shoes are too tight. Some said that his head wasn't screwed on just right.
The turning the head animation. The fur on the Grinch is very well animated, and then you always like kind of skin mixed with fur, and always works just perfectly.
But the most likely reason of all, some say the Grinch's heart was 2 sizes too small.
The little X-ray heart meter comes out, and that's gonna come back. I
do like how they use that thing in the movie.
Yes.
Okay, so we get that iconic stare down, man, where the camera's leaning up on him.
One of the best shots in this whole special. The Grinch, totally. Basically the shot from down below, like the Grinch was like tapping his fingers on the rug. He just stood there, hating the Who's as he looked down on the Who's, and he's just like you see this like Grinch like super ticked off, like that's great.
All right, so then
one of the defining shots of this whole thing, just like someone's looking so intently mad. Again, that's the thing. Grinch isn't evil; he's just really mad.
He's just basically cantankerous.
Yes,
he's like an old man. He's like, "Get off of my lawn."
Kind of reminds me of the Grinch. Kind of reminds me of like how Ralph Garman's played up as the super grumpy guy. He's really grumpy. Okay, anyway, so then Max comes out all happy-go-lucky. Boris Karloff is now as the Grinch is like saying, "Christmas, it's practically here." As he laments over how bad Christmas will be to Max. Basically, he's grabbing Max by the collar and just telling, basically, I need someone to talk to. That's the role of Max in this special. The Grinch needs someone to talk to so he isn't just inherently psychotic.
Oh, the noise.
Yep, so he's just, like, we see the happy Who's as the Grinch is kind of going lamenting over like all this stuff he's going to have to endure that he's endured so long for Christmas. Like, that we see a little sequence of our happy Who's on Christmas playing with their toys and creating the noise.
I think this is one of the most visually fun sequences, I think, because we see all these different musical instruments and in the classic Seuss fashion. I'm sure this is something that wasn't in the book.
Yeah, and again, there's like sequences like this, and just of course the whole meme with Mr. Grinch thing is barely in the book.
Of course.
Now with this, I just want to point out. I mean, the Grinch, when you rewatch this, and years and years of rewatching this, it kind of dawns on you. The Grinch kind of has a point. I mean, they're all playing their instruments. Right. First of all, look at all the music. What parents are not parents? Parents / Santa Clauses give out all of these loud musical instruments. Like, it should be more.
I love the baby on the carriage with the freaking like big gong style drum.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
making away at it.
I mean, it's such an instrumental Christmas. Like all these giant horns and drums and like, come on, it's like intentionally you get why the Grinch is so ticked off. He can't get a moment's rest. He can't. It's like always the noise. It's like every Christmas time. He's ticked off by it. You can understand that. You emphasize that you have like loud neighborhoods, loud neighbors. You get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, it gets grating after a while, especially after 53 years. It's every day of 53 years. He always hears all this loud noise, and of course, it's probably the after Christmas thing. They're still playing with the stuff.
Of course.
Of course, then you get that great, again, with the visual kind of storytelling, you're just kind of going off like how annoyed the Grinch is. The drum shot of like, the kid playing with the drums, then it just it fades to the Grinch as the drum, the noise, 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 as like the sticks, the drumsticks, like beating him on the head, like ding, 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 ding. Then, of course, we get the eye transition, which is great.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Because we hear like the din 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 din, and then the eyes like start spinning around, and we just transition to the train sets. And I wrote down some of the names, just a few of them. Hopefully, I'll pronounce some of them right. The Jing Tinglers, the Flu Flubbers, the Tartinkers.
Tartinkers, yes.
Basically, a lot of contraptions that are like musical instruments, giant like various little sections of musical instruments on wheels. That's what all these are.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Jing Tinglers, like the bells on like the bell socks, really, just like giant ball and chain like things that defy gravity that jingle. So basically, again, out of these, like a lot of bells, a lot of horns, a lot of drums, all of them of varying sizes and capacities and groupings. We get to see the Seussian design big time in this sequence. The Seussian design of like impossible meldings and like ample quantities of things.
Yeah, definitely.
Very elaborate here, and elaborate and instrumental. Again, a lot of instruments on wheels. Okay, so let's see. So we got the there's this game too. Like there's this giant like not tubaphone. Remember, folks, no, not tubaphone. You have this giant like kind of like horn-like contraption, like a mousetrap-looking contraption, like a horn slide that you throw a ball through, and it bursts out the little paper ring. It's called like a Susitter Karaz or something like that.
Mm.
Anyways, I said that's their kind of games. Again, intended to make sound, intended to tick people off, tick the neighbors off. You got.
Well, hold on. I don't necessarily think that it's intended to take the neighbors off.
I think
it's not. Are doing this all in good fun and all in good spirits, and that's kind of the point of the special. But like you said, at the same time, you absolutely get the Grinch's point of view.
Yeah, I mean,
they do it very well visually.
I'm saying they're practically intended to tick people off. I mean, look at the size. This is like an obnoxious size for all of these.
I just always, yeah, it is, but I just always take it as like they take their music a little too seriously.
Yeah, also there's like
kind of part of the culture.
We also have some other fun, absurd visuals like croquet on roller skates.
Right.
Those sound kind of fun, actually. You get the Hucarnio floats.
Something like that.
Basically, it's like this. That's the giant rig. That's the big kind of last capper of all the instruments. So basically, that's like a huge thing of like the guy is on like the little not pedestal, but the little stool on wheels with like a giant trombone thing holding all the other people playing instruments. Let's see. So again, it's all. So I'm sorry. So let's see. Then he mentions the feast. Oh, the feast, feast on their who pudding and their who roast beast.
I really want Universal Studios to open up like a roast beast shack. I want to taste this roast beast. I don't care what it is, if it's ham or steak or whatever. I just want some.
To be honest with you, I really want the who pudding look really delicious in this special. much better than all the gunk they were shoving in Jim Carrey's mouth in the movie.
Oh God! Right. Thank you.
There's remember like the who pudding looks like the little kind of daiquiri thing that Charlie Brown and Company had at the Thanksgiving special. It does. Again, before we dwell on the food animation, but there is some good food design in this film, though.
Oh God, food animation.
Let's see. So again, food animation off the table here. Let's see. So we see basically in this whole little the feast scene here, we see the Who's have a great sense of balance. First of all, because they're carrying like all these dishes and like a little stick in between holding them up.
Mm-hmm.
And also, so again, Who's have a great sense of balance and also presentation, like the Who's with like the tiny Who keeps coming out with the little platter that's being lifted.
Like the Russian doll.
Yeah, the Russian doll, which again, very Seussian.
Right.
And of course, the last little tiniest one, again, it fits the Who thing of like, the idea of Who's like that they're tiny, they get tinier and tinier because they're on the little speck that Horton carries around.
Right. Although the special never mentions that, but still, yeah, you're right. If we're going by the same continuity.
Yeah, it's always kind of funny when you think about it. That, technically Horton the Who is carrying the Grinch that whole movie, or that whole special.
Right.
When you think about it.
Oh god.
I gotta say, anyway, so then of course it's like delivering a little tiny strawberry to Cindy Lou Who, which transitions,
I love that transition. I love how the strawberry transitions into the Grinch's eye. Oh,
which is
so
great. It's such a great transition. then every Who down in Whoville will sing, and they sing, "Welcome Christmas, fa Who for a."
Hmm.
And then basically the Grinch is he's stewing on after he's got more angry just talking about it over with Max, just basically just, airing out to himself but to the dog. He's saying,
Kind of a guy in a therapy session who's like airing out his feelings, but in doing
Yeah.
so, he's just getting increasingly more pissed off.
Exactly, just stewing on, like, yes, this makes me mad, this makes me mad, I'm mad!
Right. Totally.
He's just the Grinch realizing, it is very therapeutic, he's realizing, you know what, I'm fed up.
Fuck this shit.
He literally said, he said, for 53 years I put up with this now. He's put up with this thing for 53 years.
Right.
He's not getting any younger.
I mean, we're talking instruments that literally defy the laws of gravity and physics. And just think of how much noise that would make. That would make unfathomable amounts of noise. We don't even know.
Yeah, plus, Grinch is in the echo zone. That was ruminating.
Oh god, that's true.
So, the Grinch at this point, he's just realized, he's made a goal for himself here. He's set on stopping Christmas from coming. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he sees Max throughout this whole scene. He's kind of been terrified by the Grinch kind of backing up into the snow because, again, his boss is quite intimidating. So Max is in the snow. He pops out of there and he gives the Grinch an idea. A wonderful, awful idea.
That's probably my single favorite Karloff delivery right there.
A nasty idea. A wonderful, nasty, awful idea. And then, of course, you see the famous Grinch face. It's like the Grinch is like,
oh, yeah.
The giant smile forming, and then the little hair, basically turn as devil-like as you can with the Grinch. It's like, ooh, you got a devilish little plan.
Really quick, this background that I have right here, this is actually that moment, but from the book.
Yeah.
So, all right, just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. It's actually the cover to the book, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It's usually one of two covers. Either that cover is the one where he's like, I guess, like he's on the sled.
We'll get to the iconic cover of the VHS from my childhood when we get to it. But every time I saw this special and we got to that, it was like, oh, it's like the cover, yay! Anyway.
Let's see. So he gets a wonderful, awful idea, and basically his idea is to dress as Santa Claus and steal Christmas.
Just like Bryan Cranston.
Yep. See what I mean with my Grinch comparison? I'm not that far off.
You're right.
So he does this using curtains and pillow stuffing, but let's not just say curtains and pillow stuffing. Let's go through the wonderful sequence that gave us those visual images. So as he starts with cutting that curtains into a Santa Claus suit, we see him making a costume through the first out of kind of, I guess, our three verse. Is that the right way to say it? Like it's three verses?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
like chunklets. I don't know, like 3 sections of song.
Sections. I would say maybe.
One is like we get our first sequence here. That is the song divided into three sections of "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch." So this is the first Mean One sequence, and I love
wonderful, incomparable, incredible, thorough Ravenscroft.
Seriously, this song I think it just speaks for itself. We don't need to dwell too much on this. How brilliant the song is. Again, Thurl Ravenscroft sings it. It's the song you listen to radio. You cannot turn off if it's on the radio. It's like I can't turn it off. It's so good. Yeah, it's a great. First of all, it's just great montage music. First of all, and as we see with that montage, it's just great construction montage of the Santa suit with the wonderful incomparable Thurl Ravenscroft. Again, that's enough praising that guy. But we actually should praise him because apparently there was a misconception way back in the day before Dr. Seuss set the record straight that everyone just thought Boris Karloff sang the song. That was the misconception. But the Dr. Seuss wrote to I guess the papers or something. He wrote, no, Thurl's Raven. First of all, he called and said, "I am so sorry. I don't know where they're getting it from."
That's great.
That's what happened. He called him. He profusely apologized. He said, I'm sorry. I don't know what people are thinking. Anyway, so we see these great things. Again, him cutting out the red curtains to make the make the shirt. Again, it always bothers me. As a kid, it kind of bothered me the Grinch didn't wear pants, but it's visually, it's dynamic.
Whatever.
It's like this incomplete outfit. Like, where are the pants? What's his top heavy? Well, no, he's bottom heavy. That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, yeah, it's fun. I'm just saying it's like so iconic. It doesn't
Exactly. Matter. So he's sewing the suit together, and Max's tail gets caught on the sewing machine.
Yep. He also, like, Max is doing the pincushion thing first. He has like the pincushion in his mouth, like all the pins are like, tipping over as like, he's modeling the shirt just to get the measurements in there. Oh, sewing machine gag with the tail.
Your heart's an empty hole, Mr. Grinch.
Yeah. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. Dun, 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 dun. As he grabs the pillow stuff and he's like basically sewing that into the hat to get the mirror gag where the Grinch is like, good mirror animation, by the way. Again, early days of mirror animation, just like focusing that on there. It's like
right,
it was a good like little thing, like showing your character while you're kind of manipulating what he's being shown on. Let's see. So then, the Grinch, he's in with this coat, with this Santa Claus hat and this coat. I think he says coat. I don't know. It's like the shirt, That's the thing. It looks more. They kind of play with the Santa coat in the movie over here, but it's like a Santa shirt that I think they call it coat. I don't know. Anyway, with the Santa Claus getup, it looks like illusion's complete. I'm ready to go out and steal Christmas. But he realizes he needs a reindeer, but reindeer aren't really easily come by in the Whoville.
I mean, it is on a snowflake after all.
Although
technically Santa can go, according to the movie.
Which is not a problem. Just like the idea of Santa Claus interdimensionally shrinks and then.
Yeah, it's something that's always weirded me out. No, the problem with that for me is that Santa's got to have some priorities, right? It's like now he's dealing with interdimensional things. It's like, really? No. Anyway.
Well, there are other complex explanations for that mini Santa. We're not going to get into those right now. Right. One is the Grinch realizes he needs a reindeer. So the Grinch says, well, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he took some black thread and he ties again a very Seussian little display. The movie also had, by the way, just kind of paying homage to this. It takes the horn off a little. It's like tape when the hunters put the antler horns on the wall. Just it takes breaks off one of those horns, ties it to Max's head, and then he's top heavy. Such a classic gag. It's like whenever you think of the top heaviness, you kind of think of Max. Then the Grinch trims the antler like you would trim a tree. Remember back in the 50s, kids, you had to trim it. Yeah, the trim tree, like the I Love Lucy Christmas special we talked about Christmas.
Oh my God. That was some great stuff.
That's the thing the kids nowadays have forgotten, like what trim the tree means. It means actually trimming the tree. It's not just decorating it. That's what we accept now.
I mean, half the trees now are fake and plastic, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
It's sad. Anyway.
Not that I'm complaining. I kind of like the art. I like the metal trees.
The metal trees are cool. I just don't like the ones that look like the real trees but aren't, like they're plastic, because it gets your hopes up. You go up to them to get the pine smell, and you're like, "Aww." Yeah.
Anyway, so then the Grinch is like getting ready to load the bags. He got a whole bunch of empty gray sacks, empty gray and brown sacks. I don't know, they're kind of grayish, but maybe brown. I'm saying gray. They're gray. Bunch of sacks, bunch of bags. He puts on a sleigh, his little makeshift, very simplistic sleighs. Let's embrace the.
It's not Rosebud.
No, it's not Rosebud, but it makes sense for the Grinch. This is the Grinch's Santa sleigh, just a very simple sleigh.
Right.
Anyway, so he loads the bags on the sleigh. He's making the Max thinks, okay, I'm going for the ride. Yeah, like a dog. And then he realizes the Grinch just gives us the look of the hat falls down. It's such a Chuck Jones look to the camera too. Yeah, he grabs the whip and saddles Max up. So the idea is poor little dog is gonna be the force behind the sleigh. Then, of course, you get this fantastic shot. This will always stick in my mind as a great commercial break. This is great.
He's one of the good commercial breaks. Yeah,
he's on the edge of Mount Crumpet here. It's like the edge of the mountain, at least the edge of a downward slope, I guess. And you're at the edge again, like the Grinch is like just over there, and it's like dramatic music's playing, and then like it kind of fades out. And then when you come back, this is the moment to remember, folks. When he comes back, you hear like just the instant you come back, the Grinch is then tilting downwards, and you hear like this great kind of music cue playing, like just like the da-da, like the falling music in any action movie. You know, just like the very lyrical, like just like the. As the Grinch like falls down, he's like getting closer and closer to camera. Such a great shot of him plummeting down. Such a and the look down shot are the best shots in this whole thing.
Yeah, totally.
As the Grinch comes down there, he's going like full speed ahead as Max going to keep up so far, and you get Shenanigans on the way down.
Yeah, we get some fun physics. My favorite shot is probably when he goes like, he goes over that curved hill, and it has like the fighter jet like.
Oh yeah, basically all the shenanigans and the physics here are very Chuck Jones-esque, which work very well. Just like him grasping onto the face and like him just not letting go, and the Grinch having to shimmy the dog down. And also, I love periodically the dog just kind of waving to the Grinch, and like giving like the little shrug, like I don't know how I got here. Okay, let's see. So then they arrive at the first house, Cindy Lou's house, which is actually from everything. Okay, so Max is like carrying the ladder so they can climb up the house. Grinch goes down the chimney all clever, and then he gets stuck for a moment because again he's bottom.
Okay, I'm sorry, really quickly. The shot where he's about to go down the chimney, and he's got the sack and everything. That was the shot that was on my VHS cover.
Oh yeah, I have that too.
Oh yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. So, every time you got to that shot, it was like, oh, that's the cover shot.
Now I want to check something here. So your VHS copy, it's not like the kind of the library book edition of like it's not the opening thing. It's just like a little slip, right?
Yeah, right. It's the little slip. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay. We have
the two classifications of VHS. You got the slip or you got the book.
Oh God! All right.
Get so many slip VHS tape covers. It's always like a quality thing. All the TV stuff's the slips. All the big movies or the books. Even though you occasionally get a Back to the Future in there, it's a slip. Anyway,
well, of course, we have the classic Disney. The Disney classics, which were the big clamshell ones.
Yeah. But also, you like anyway, enough reminiscing about VHS.
We literally did a whole podcast about that, like towards the start of the channel.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so let's see. So Grinch is coming down there. He's getting stuck on the way down again. He's very bottom heavy, so he got stuck but only for a moment, a minute or two. He then gets down there. We have this great shot where he's down by the fireplace. These stockings, the Grinch said, are the first thing to go.
And I love how thorough the Grinch is with just how much he takes. It's not just the presents. It's like everything.
Oh yeah. Now, first of all, I just love the little. I love the Grinch's tricks and how he gets how he steals the gifts here and steals the decorations and everything. One of my favorite things from the special always stick in my mind is like when he uses the magnet to get the nails from the stocking, just like bag them up. I love that shot so much. It's so well. It's like it's snappy. It's like that's how you remove the stockings. All the muss and fuss, like rip. It's like. And it works. Then the Grinch slithered and slunked, and oh man, that's so great. Look, him like the snake with the giant heart-shaped face, smiling, just like.
And now, keep in mind, I really do feel like this is the one thing the movie really got spot on was all these sequences. It was so neat to see them in live action.
Except for the cat gag. Cat gag was a bit much.
Well, yeah, the cat gag was a bit much, but I'm talking the stuff that came like directly off of this.
So basically, all the Cindy Lou House stuff was pretty on point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, it makes sense. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so he's taking all the gifts, and first of all, I just love this little. This rewatching always sticks out to me. It's like I love how the gifts are like. It's a neat little design thing you don't see. It's like the gifts are displayed within the tree. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So the Grinch, like, after he slithers and slunks to the Christmas tree, like, he enters the Christmas trees, like, the arms are coming out. Like, in the movie, I guess, tried to capture this as much as they could, and I really see I'm going to rant on in a few minutes here.
Okay.
But, it's the idea that the arms in the tree is a good shot, though. And he took this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
Yeah, right.
It's a great little snappy thing there. Okay, let's see. So then he's stuffed... he's in the tree, took all the stuff. Anyways, they put in the bags, and they're busy firing the bags outside the chimney for Mac. Poor little Mac's down there to catch.
Mhm.
Okay, so then we get the mean one sequence. We get the mean one song part 2.
You have all
Yeah.
the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch.
And that was the one thing. The movie did the song great, but if only they could have done it somehow, found a way to do all the parts of the song. It's such a great song. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This second section starts with "You have termites in your smile, Mr. Grinch."
Mhm.
Then the seasick, right? I'm sorry. Anyways, then we get basically the next part of the montage. You read like the pool cube gag,
Yeah.
like getting the bulbs out of the tree by like knocking one into the other. Like it's a chain reaction thing that they all just get fired out down, like they all get hit and go pool table style down the rain gutter.
And then he's on the little, the little fire truck ladder trying to get the star out.
Nice. Now that's a great shot, dude. Like that, I'm surprised they haven't made into like a DVD cover. It's got to be on a poster or something. It's like him on this fire truck looking at the camera as he's grabbing the star. It's such like it's a poster.
Right.
Such a poster shot. It looks great. I love him. I love the Grinch being balanced on this little fire truck. We see the carpet gag, which is great. Him rapping again. It's a lot of. There's some great illogical logic here. Like, okay, if you're going to steal things in a economic manner, what you want to do is you got to steal. And if you're going to basically steal everything within the house, what you got to do is you got to use everything to help you steal things faster. So he just wraps everything up in the carpet and fires it out the chimney.
Mhm.
And of course you get you're a sauerkraut toadstool. You're sauerkraut toadstool sandwich with arsenic sauce.
I love Thurl's delivery.
Then we have the Grinch giving this really creepy look to the children.
Whoa, okay.
Well, he does.
No, I know.
Remember, we get to see like the termite. Again, we don't see the termites crawl across or anything. We see like the really bad teeth on the Grinch. Like the really. Ugh. Anyways, and then he literally steals candy from children.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on.
And you get
a step too far.
I always loved that it was just like him like just removing these long candy canes. You have like little sound design on the candy canes too.
Right.
And of course, there's that great bit where the girl one of the girls wakes up a little bit, and he's like his hand does this Lego movie pose. He does the Lego movie pose like the kid's hand. Like a little scrunched up hand. Like we've all been there. I love that.
There you go.
Let's see. Anyway, so then he gets all the candy canes there. He's like, these are huge candy canes, by the way, really long, like more than 12 inches.
Again, something that Universal Studios should market, like Whoville style candy canes.
Yeah. Like, let's see. Stuff's up the. Oh yeah.
So, kitchen and he steals the roast beast.
And he even stole their last can of Who Hash.
Now, I'm sorry, I have to make this.
Oh, come on, don't make the joke. Come on, don't.
As a stoner, I really want to see what Who Hash tastes like. All right, there, I said it. I want to try myself some Who Hash.
Anyway, okay. Anyway,
because it's a drug. Get it?
We were off to such a good start. Okay, so and the Grinch stuffs up the tree. He does this great. He's about to stuff up the tree, but then a little bulb falls off, and again, there's the size discrepancy here. But they've set this up all right with her. This huge bulb makes its way to the bed, and we see just how tiny in comparison Cindy Lou Who is to this bulb, which is. But this bulb's huge. She's holding right here.
Right.
Anyway, so she goes up to the Grinch. We get this great iconic moment. I believe this is in the book, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, like I said, this is an illustration taken straight from the book, so yeah, for sure.
Right. Anyway, so Cindy Lou who's no older than 2 in this version. She.
I think that's one thing that the movie probably. That was a good decision by the movie, just to make her a fully fleshed out character.
That's absolutely fine. I get it, and I like the stuff they were doing with the girl, except for that one horrible song, which we're not going to mention. But
but like I said, it's a mixed bag because the song is bad, but it's also kind of the overture of the entire score, which is good.
Okay, now here's my rant. I didn't get to when we talked about the Grinch. It's
okay.
right here. Okay, so first of all, let's sweeten it a little bit beforehand. Okay. So we have this great sequence here where Cindy Lou Who's no older than 2. She comes up to the tree here and says, "Santa, why are you taking our tree?" And then first of all, let me say this. Again, a lot of positive here before I get to my negative. As it's nothing to do with this wonderful special.
Mhm.
So I think this debatably, this aside from our ending sequence or ending little bit, ending, I guess, ending lines from the Grinch, is the best performance Boris Karloff gives. This sequence right here, this little bit right here, is Boris Karloff's best performance in the special when he goes,
Yeah, yeah.
when he turns on the charm so well.
He does. He
And
does.
I emphasize how good an actor Boris Karloff is. He's the guy that played Frankenstein.
It's kind of like Walter White status. You know what I mean? It's like he gets caught in a line. It's like, oh shit, I have to think of something fast. All right, I've got it. Here's the line going, Skylar.
I'm saying again, this is Frankenstein delivering all these fantastic performances. I mean, Karloff didn't. I'm saying he did more than just Frankenstein. I'm just saying like he can do all these varied roles, and he still gets to play such a charming and very Walter White backed into a corner-esque performance. Again, this is his Cranston moment of the special. It is.
I would like to say that Cranston maybe took a tiny bit of inspiration. I'd like to say that.
I would love just to hear Bryan Cranston read this story as an audiobook.
Oh. Bryan Cranston is the narrator for the new one.
Yes.
Please make that happen.
And John Lithgow is the Grinch.
Yeah, we've already established that. We want that.
Give me Lithgow Grinch and give me Cranston narrator. Anyway, we're getting aside here, but back to seriously, this is like Karloff's best performance here because he just turns on the charm of like just get this light excuse. Oh my, and he's like turns like so. Oh my sweet little tot, oh my dear, there's a light on one side that won't light on one side. So I'm taking an animation's flawless on the Grinch. You're just like so charming and it looks beautiful. Just him saying, and just like the hand motions and just like the lip quivers. It works great. This great like side view of the Grinch. Is him saying, so I'm going to take it to my workshop, my dear, and I'll fix it up there and I'll bring it back here. He got her drink and basically put her to bed. Like turned her back to the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he got out of the water and but then he takes the tree and he leaves. So let me tell you the negative version of this, folks. Again, all that positivity. So probably one of my biggest gripes with the Grinch movie is that Cindy Lou Who looks like a complete and total idiot in that scene because Grinch,
totally.
She spent the whole first act. First and second act, technically. First and second act, getting to know the Grinch, seeing the Grinch firsthand, and it's one thing. Okay, I'll buy. I can buy the hand thing to a degree. Okay, the second he pops his head through the tree and says, "Vengeance." You mean to tell me she cannot put two and two together? And don't hand me that it's the little cotton, the cotton stuff in the tree simulating a beard. Don't hand me that. Just it makes her look like a total idiot. Just it's not just like kid. Oh, she's a kid. No, it's stupid.
I mean, having said that, though, I think it was just kind of something they wrote themselves into a corner with by having her interact with the Grinch so much.
Well, no, it's simple. Just don't show his face. I can buy the hand thing because may say he just has weird gloves on.
Yeah, the hand thing, I don't know, man.
And it's dark.
Grinch's hands are very distinct.
It's a dark room, and he does against the hand things. I can buy that gullibility. Again, out of the Who's, she's the smartest Who in the bunch. That's what makes this moment worse when he looks her right in the face. And then she completely sold on it too. Like, I make sure the Grinch has a Merry Christmas too. I think he's sweet. All that stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fuck that noise.
I'm saying I like the lines, but again, the fact that she knows that she should know it's the Grinch.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. She literally spends the whole movie not only getting to know him, looking into his backstory. Like, she should have an intimate knowledge of what he looks like at this point.
Like, I'll be very
the green guy with green hair.
As forgiving as I can be to that movie, that one moment is just the unforgivable mistake of that film.
Yeah, we'll get to the unforgivable mistake.
All right, yeah. Well, that's mine. Yours, you'll get to.
Oh God! I already got to it in our review, but I just have to bring it up again.
That was just mine because I forgot to bring it up. I had to bring it up here, otherwise I wouldn't have. Okay, I just want to say that. Okay, so after then he stuffs the tree up the chimney. So basically, he's cleaned the house out. Speaking of house, put rhymes with house, put mouse because he took everything. There's all that was left for some hooks and some wire, and even left he took the log for the fire.
Yeah.
Let's see, he left Didn't leave a. Only thing he left was a crumb that was too small for a mouse, and then he even took the crumb. That's the thing. That's
Right,
like,
takes that, yeah.
I mean, the closest thing to a gripe, like the closest thing I have to a gripe in this whole thing, it's not even a gripe at all. I'm just saying it's like the funny little thing to notice. It's that the Grinch then takes the crumb, so he took everything then at that point. So it's like the narrator would have to correct himself. Oh wait, then he even took the crumb. Again, you understand why I didn't do that, but I'm just saying, he took the crumb even after. That's the Grinch breaking the fourth wall. Seriously, that's the Grinch breaking the fourth wall. He took the crumb after the narrator mentioned it.
We get one of my favorite shots, which is the Grinch using the Reeves as monkey bars.
Ah, yes. Okay, so first of all, then we get to our Mean One Part 3 here. It gets the last part of our Mean One song. Now, first of all, you'll notice there's some reused animation in this sequence. So again, you can buy, because all the houses are similarly decorated, and you can buy that he would be doing similar things.
Mm-hmm.
But what's brilliant about this sequence in terms of constructing is that we've seen, this is kind of like story structure at its finest. We see him, every detail of him robbing one house. And because of that, we don't need to see him do it in such intricate detail for the other ones, but we get just glimpses of what he's doing per house, so it gives us the illusion that he's doing it to every house.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just saying, because it was so well established in that these methods were so well established in it. Once again, I love the establishment of the methods in movies. That's what, again, Catch Me If You Can is one of my favorite examples of this. So when the Grinch,
of course, Prep and Landing.
Yes, Prep and Landing, and Catch Me If You Can, just like the Terminal, another huge example of that. Just like the evolution and the establishment of methods.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is that you're just showing us the progression of time, because of we've seen him do this, and those little glimpses of reused animation give us a sense of, okay, it's the progression of time, and we get what's going on now. It's taking us seriously as an audience, saying, well, you guys know what happens, so you can imagine he's doing this all a bunch of houses.
Totally.
We throw in a lot of different stuff there to suggest different houses too, which those different things would be in the montage here. We get little wind-up dolls being wound up so they just all fall into line, run into the bag. We get one of my favorites, the ice trays, because it makes the least amount of sense. Just like he's stealing the ice.
Right.
He's stealing the ice from the ice trays. Again, really not that seasonal, but he's on a roll at this point.
That's the thing, man. I mean, I feel like it's some of this stuff goes beyond just stealing Christmas and into just Bryan Cranston, like, I'm just gonna rob you.
Yeah, just like this pure kleptomania at its finest.
Right. Oh God.
The Grinch is really at his core. He's a kleptomaniac. That's what he is.
Yeah. I'd say so. I'd say the Grinch is probably the most lovable kleptomaniac in fiction.
I was watching this with some friends of mine for the holidays, and they pointed out that it was going to be discussed among us. Basically, we didn't riff the movie, but we pointed out things during the montages, like he took the film from the camera. Yeah, it looks like either he leaves the camera, the fact he destroyed the film, and took the camera, just like he hates Christmas that much. He rips the film out of the camera and puts it in there.
Like, fuck your Christmas memories.
Yeah, and the petals for the poinsettias, the Christmas flowers. It says something about a character who's like hates Christmas so much he's plucking every petal of a flower. Then the last thing, again, there's yet another thing the movie screwed up on, is that the Grinch in this version, he takes the big tree in town square. He folds it up like an umbrella, which is
like
awesome.
An umbrella. Yeah.
Which is cool. Now I understand they could do it the same way, but still, the movie, seriously, I mean, that's the thing. When he's expecting a scene you're going to be definitely harping on. Not unfairly, so I'm just pointing out you're going to be.
Oh, yeah, I will be.
But the point is, in that scene, though, they're saying that all of Christmas is gone. Well, no, there's still decorations on the houses on the outside. Big one being the giant tree, the second tree that the Grinch would have a vendetta against because he destroyed it the first time, is still in the middle of town square.
That's true.
He doesn't take it. He doesn't destroy it. He doesn't chop into little pieces. Just leaves it there. And I give up. I've stolen enough. Anyway, so the Grinch has managed by the end of this night has kind of pulled the anti-Santa Claus on Whoville. He has stolen everything.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he's the successful version of not just Cranston but the Home Alone bandits.
That's true.
It's like Evil Joe Pesci meets Bryan Cranston. No, it's too much. Okay, so he's stolen everything.
Also, really quickly, I just love when he's he's got that little toy train, and I love how he takes the time. It's like, I just like to think that he just took the time, like maybe that train was going around in a circle around the tree, but he took the time to rearrange the track pieces and put them into the sack and have the train like it. I just love that, you know.
Yes, I don't know how I forgot the train. The train was one of the best ones in that sequence. Just him setting up the track so the train would just fall into.
I just love the mundanity of that. That he's like, ooh, I have an idea.
And you know
what? If there's like some ominous, like unseen person filming this, it'll make a great shot in the Christmas.
You know, it reminds me a lot of the gag in Wallace and Gromit, where Gromit is at high speeds, laying out the train tracks for the train as he's riding it. Okay, well, let's see. So the Grinch has managed to steal Christmas. He's stolen everything. You know, everything, even the crumbs for all the who's mices, mouses, or Mises, as the Muppet Christmas Carol would state.
Right.
They went back and forth on him. I don't think I'm in the wrong there. Anyway, so Max pulls the sleigh again. Is this poor dog? he has to pull.
He's like just literally buried in the snow. The antlers sticking out.
So you see, the secret of Max here in this special everyone overlooks is that he's actually Kryptonian. Because usually he lifts this sleigh up that mountain. It's completely
That's true. Yeah.
It's like Max's heart is so full of love, it gives him Kryptonian, crypto super dog like strength, just lifting the sleigh up there. Anyway, so he manages somehow to, it's a buy. I mean, you're in it so far up to this point, like, okay, why not?
Oh, I'm so into it. Yeah, it's never like literally. I'm a guy that looks for plot holes and stuff.
It's like my favorite example is kind of like the "we don't care" moment. It's just like when from the Toy Story commentary, they mentioned how would Sid get the package in the middle of it's like 5 o'clock. Why would he get the?
Oh, screw that.
No, let me finish. I understand the response is hilarious. Like, I understand mocking the critics, saying like, "Well, how would it's like 5 o'clock? Where does he get the package?" And there's all the guys looking at each other, saying, "We don't care." Just going like, "No one's ever in it this far. I mean, we don't care." That's the reaction to this moment of like, okay, how's a dog gonna pull this sleigh up there? We don't care. You're in it at this point. Okay. Anyway, so let's see. So Max has managed to pull up the sleigh up to the Mount Crumpet, right to the edge of it, and you're right about to dump it too. Just dump all the stuff off Mount Crumpet. Rhyme. Then first of all we get this great scale shot of just seeing this giant overstuffed sleigh of items and trees, and like 80 trees are stuffed into this thing, and bulbs and food, and this thing's like it's like a Walmart compressed into a sack.
Mm-hmm.
It was like teetering off. There's just the sense of scale too, of like Max almost falling. Really, he turns the thing. It just they establish scale so well in this, don't they?
Oh yeah, totally.
Then as the sleigh turns, then the Grinch is like holding it to, ooh, and I know just what they'll do. The Grinch is very excited to see the prospects of all this stuff here, and he's like, and though all their mouths will hang open, they'll all cry boo-hoo, and I know this is your cue.
Yeah. And that's totally what they don't do in this special. And it's a beautiful fucking moment. It kind of brings tears to my eyes every time I see it. It's one of the most moving things I've ever seen in a holiday special. And what happens in the movie? What happens in the movie?
I'm gonna take a guess here. It's they say. The Grinch lays.
The whole point of this moment is that they don't say boo-hoo.
Yeah.
The whole point hinges on the fact that they do not say boo-hoo.
Basically, the big flaw.
I am like physically shaking right now. It pisses me off.
So, folks, what Diggy's getting at here is that the biggest flaw with the story-wise of the Grinch, aside from my rant of just like a big plot problem, is the biggest story problem that Tiggy's bringing up here, which is a very valid.
No, yours is a plot problem. Yours is like a plot hole. Mine just fucks up the whole spirit of this thing.
That's what I just said.
Okay. Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh, that felt good to get off my chest.
Now, what Tiki is getting at here, which is absolutely correct in, is that it does throw kind of the point of the movie, and that the Who's care about materialism so much in the point where it takes in the Who to show them that no, materialism doesn't matter, which defeats the purpose.
Oh God, it defeats the purpose. Oh.
The Who shouldn't inherently know. Like we can't learn from the Who's if only one Who is doing the right thing here.
And literally throughout the whole movie, it's not just that one scene. Throughout the whole movie, the Who's are kind of assholes.
It's like the commercialism idea isn't bad, but then they kind of run out of steam on that. At least they were distracted by the fact that we have to make the Who's the bad guy for this one scene, which corrupts the whole thing.
Wouldn't it be better if they just went with the fact that the Who's were oblivious to the fact that they were being really annoying?
That's the thing. It was just they were too oblivious, and it was just just too inherently. They're basically cruel for the point of the misstep they did in the storytelling with the flashback stuff, which again all kind of ties into that,
But what? Answer my question, BlueDragonFive. What do they do in the movie?
Oh yeah, in the movie they all not exactly, they lyrically cry boo hoo hoo.
I give up. Christmas is canceled. I give up.
No, come on, we're at the end. Put that on.
No, but seriously, just watching this again, it hurts all the more. Like, it pissed me off more just watching this and seeing how good the moment is and reliving it than when I watched the movie and just kind of took it in its own right. And it's like, no, that's not right. Fuck that. Ugh. I'm sorry. We can move on. Let's talk about how beautiful the actual moment is.
We're gonna put the hat back on. There we go. Okay, let's continue.
For you, Chuck.
Okay. Not Schultz, Chuck Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Like you said, the actual boo-hoo moment.
No.
All right, fine.
No.
Okay, the point is the Grinch listens to the Who's, just hearing like them being disappointed, let's say. Basically, he's waiting to hear the fruits of his labor of hearing the Who's all sad and weepy. So he listens to the Who's and he hears singing. He hears them despite the fact that everything's gone, despite the huge tree that's in the center town. Again, I'm harping on that tree, folks. Despite the fact that it's gone, there's no representation of Christmas. The Who's have all arms. Their arms have linked, echoing the opening. Reasons some animation here and there, but it's the point. It's the spirit of it, folks. They're all singing the Welcome Christmas song, fa hoo for re da hoo do re. The point's like their song is so powerful it creates like a little Christmas star in spirit. It's rising just to emphasize
this magical force of Christmas energy.
Yes, and then the Grinch. Okay, so this is debatably, if not the strongest thing, but I'm gonna say because of that one, like him doing the sweet little tot scene. This is the second most powerful moment of acting from Boris Karloff as the Grinch here. And of course the narration also, but in both fronts, Boris Karloff's like he's nailing it on the head right here. It's just perfect. He says basically the Grinch discovers that Christmas still came. It came all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Grinch is just in pure disbelief here, and then he's grabbing Max again. The animated, so a great Chuck Jones animation right here. It's like saying he's like looking back at it. It's like I don't believe this. He's looking back at Max. He's telling him as he did earlier on. He's just complaining about because see, it's like great symmetry here. He's just saying he came without. And again, the humanity that's infused in the Grinch performance here is so great. Totally. Just in complete disbelief. It came without ribbons. Came without tags. Came without packages,
boxes of bags.
Then the Grinch just has his realization moment, which is so violent, which is so beautiful. His eyes go blue from red to blue, and it's just like he realized Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas means a little bit more.
Yeah.
Perhaps Christmas means a little bit more.
That moment right there, man, between the Who singing and then the narration, it's all so good.
Just the Grinch realizing in this moment that, Christmas, it's not about all the stuff that gets on his nerves, but it's not just about the physical representation of Christmas. It's about the spirit of the holiday. It's about the niceties. It's about just like people coming together. It's about like the whole, I'm happy, so you're happy, buddy. Isn't that right?
Totally,
that whole thing. That's what it boils down to. The Grinch is realizing that even without all the material stuff, even without the stuff that it's like he thinks that by taking all this I can kill Christmas, but no, Christmas is just like the happy feeling.
You can't defeat the magic star, Grinch. Don't even try.
Yeah. So then he realizes it. Then he's like his heart's starting to like thaw here in this moment, but we don't see that. We're going to see the actual heart payoff here in a moment. The sleigh is then starting to tumble, so his revelation is then interrupted by the sleigh going down again. The scale. Oh my God, the scale is so beautiful in this movie.
And just to give some points back to the movie, I do think that Cindy Lou being in the sleigh did raise the stakes, and I think it was kind of clever how they had that moment where Jim Carrey's like, "Well, it is just stuff, right?"
It's just toys, right? That's the thing. As much again, that's probably one of my favorite moments of that movie. Is him lifting,
Right, yeah.
him
So
lifting
it's
that
an
sleigh.
awful. The boo-hoo thing is like awful. It's hideous, but everything after that is really good. So,
Yeah, but regardless, so this is still great in the special. Though. I'm just saying the intensity is amped up for the movie with this moment.
Mhm.
The point is, it's more. This moment is strong in an equal but different way. But it's strong. This is like the Grinch's moment of change is linked with this moment, let alone the friendship moment within the movie.
Mhm.
So here it's the Grinch as he's again hilarious Chuck Jones animation, like running up the snow, kicking in the dog's face as it's beautiful. This is probably the most iconic animation in the thing, like the Grinch running up this thing and like just grabbing onto that sleigh as the dog's
Right.
pulling him, and like it's the Grinch as he's being dragged down there. It's like, oh no, it's like regretting his edges. Again, our villain has to suffer in some ways. Like, oh, I have to pull his sleigh up. So basically, then the Grinch is like hard. This great moment here. Just you see the Grinch's look of like he's sweating and he's stressed out, but he has a smile on his face the whole way through. Like it's out of love for the holidays, he's suffering. And things like which is the other underlying message that we suffer for the holidays. So again, as much as the Grinch didn't like the noise in the past, because he didn't get it. That's the reason he really hated the noise.
Sure.
So he doesn't get what the big deal is. It's just people making noise on this one day of the year. It kind of gets on my nerves, and now he understands what the reason behind the noise is, and that's why he's starting to get it. The point is like there's always like an acceptance of like some hardship around the holidays. The point is the Grinch, he's holding it as he's going down with this smile on his face, and he says, and as the Who say down Whoville, the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day. We see a little heart chart, a little heart monitor thing, and then it grows 3 sizes. Boom, boom, boom. And the third one breaks the little monitor thing. And then the Grinch had the strength of 10 Grinches plus 2.
I just have in my notes, heart powers activated.
Heart.
Yeah. You see BlueDragonFive, this is where Matisse heart powers come in handy.
Oh, yeah.
Heart.
Okay. Then the Grinch playing a trumpet on the way down. He's riding that sleigh right back into town.
Trumpet.
Yep, he's sliding right in there. Slides perfectly. By the way, again, at this point you don't care, but he slides perfectly into that circle. Thankfully, no breaks or anything. He slides perfectly into the middle of that circle, giving back everything. Right. Just tossing everything back to everyone. No question. They're like, wait, that's not my tree, and they don't care at this point. It's fine. It's all Christmassy. They don't need Christmas, and they're just getting stuff back anyway. It's fine. It's just it's great. He the Grinch, and then after he returns the stuff, then we have a great moment here. Like the Grinch has been invited, so that's the difference between this and the movie, which still works. It's the Grinch in this case has been invited to the Christmas dinner, despite all. It's like showing the Who's are such nice people in this version that they invite the Grinch to the dinner instead of it's the thing you get a sense of after 53 years. The Grinch isn't really invited to that thing either.
Yeah, right.
So I'd like to think it's the Who's being open-minded and realizing, well, you know what? This guy's he stole Christmas, means he was acting out, and I guess he doesn't really have anyone to spend the holidays with, so let's invite him.
Yeah, I love it. It's like they don't have any ill will towards him at all. Not even a second of it. Not even a split moment of animosity. They're so good-hearted that they're just, this is our brother, and he brought Christmas back, and we were great with Christmas, but now it's even better, and now we've just made this new phrase. Oh, it's so good, BlueDragonFive. It's such a fucking good message.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's like, don't get me wrong, it's not explicitly said, but you can assume that the Grinch was invited to this thing, and I think there's enough evidence there to suggest these Who's are much nicer people. Anyway, so the Grinch is invited. Then he himself, the Grinch, cut the roast beast, carved the roast beast, and he's like handing out. First of all, I love the little kind of the classic kind of the office cake style thing of you cut the cake and then you pass it down to the guy way down the line. He's doing that, but also Cindy Lou Who awards Max for all his servitude for carrying that sled all the way up that mountain. Gives him the first one of the first slabs of that roast beast.
Oh yeah,
which is nice. A little nicety for Cindy Lou Who to award someone with some beast.
Mm-hmm.
And
Who wants to get married?
too late. Anyways, then the past the slices down there, it's really nice. Then we have the Welcome Christmas play. We hear the narrator as he's mentioning, as we're kind of panning up the mountain here, like the heart and heart, hand in hand, just echoing the lyrics of the song before it just kind of kicks in there. Then just the music takes us up the mountain. Then we just see the two words. Music takes us up to the end.
Flawless, just flawless.
Yes, just absolutely fantastic special.
Drop the mic right there. All right, Blue Dragon 5, we did it. We got through the 12 holiday specials. Any kind of last seasonal thoughts?
Should we give a quick rundown of our experience?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
You list them off.
Oh God, I was hoping you could.
Nah, you can. Okay,
really,
fine.
you're gonna put me on the spot like
No,
that?
no.
I don't have them in front of me.
All right, fine. We have Jingle All the Way to start with.
That was really fun. That was a lot more fun than I was expecting it to be. It really stuck with me. Here's to you, Dad.
Then we had the Jingle All the Way, of course, fun, the Turbo Man stuff, and just kind of the Sandy Run holidays, an underrated one, definitely. And once kind of it's raked over the coals a lot for its silliness, but the silliness, you get some hilarity.
I think the silliness is kind of part of what makes it fun.
Yeah, at the very least, it's good around the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, we have the Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, to tell you the truth, it didn't really hold up as much as when I was a kid. I kind of, I watched it without the nostalgic goggles, and it's a good movie. It's a really good movie, but it's not quite classic material. I don't know.
Right. So, with the Santa Claus, what's great about that, I think out of all of our discussions, our seasonal shenanigans on the Santa Claus trilogy, I think we had the most mileage. I think we had the most in-depth analysis out of those.
Probably. It was cool to, I kind of appreciated it more as a trilogy. Like I said, it was kind of an odd trilogy to do, but it worked anyway.
Right. And I believe, again, I think we've redeemed our past misservice of Tim Allen this year.
Yeah.
Then we have our Disney category, which was us starting out with, was it Mickey's?
I think, it started Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Mickey's Christmas Carol, of course, just kind of like kind of one of the animated, definitive versions of Christmas Carol.
I'd say Mickey's Christmas Carol is maybe like a notch below something like the Grinch or the Peanuts.
And then we had our special category.
Oh yes.
Which was was Rudolph.
Oh right, the Fleischer Rudolph. What do you think? Because I just have nostalgia for that thing, and it's very bizarre. But what do you think of that thing?
To be purely honest, I just like the letter bit. Otherwise, I could have gone without it.
Fair enough.
It was just kind of that was the worst one out of all the ones we've done to me.
No.
I mean, no, Grinch was intentionally. Was one we knew was bad going in. I'm saying that Rudolph to me was most disappointing.
Oh yeah, it was nostalgia, and I just love the Fleischer animation. Anyways,
speaking of which, was Grinch our next one for our film category?
I believe so, and that was probably the funnest conversation I had. I mean, we were ripping on it, yeah, but we kind of got a lot of mileage out of what worked and what didn't work.
We had Santa Claus 2, which again is probably the best Santa Claus. And again, I think
Santa Claus 2 was easily the best surprise out of the 12. I really ended up liking that movie a lot.
And again, I'm proud of our analysis of the Santa. I'm surprised by how much kind of layers there were within the Santa Claus trilogy.
Yeah, me too.
And again, 2 was the high mark. And just again, if I could just watch one scene in that movie, I just love the giving out the toys scene. I could watch the Secret Santa scene all day long of that movie. And of course, the sad, strange little man. Okay, so then let's see. Our following category would be the Disney category, which I know there was Once Upon a Christmas, but there would be a third one.
Well, the third one was Prep and Landing, right?
Yes. Sorry, silly me. Once Upon a Christmas, which is fun. And I think that one for you was probably the most disappointing.
That one wasn't really disappointing. It was just kind of the most all right, it was fine. It's not great.
Yeah, it was just I like it. I just
It
kind of
was a
find it.
Christmas special starring the Disney characters. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
See, folks,
Don't get
essentially,
me wrong, there was some really good stuff in the Goofy one, some really funny stuff in the Mickey one, the Donald one, and so it was fine.
you see, essentially, don't forget our kind of a running gag of the Fab Five of the critiquing of the Fab Five moniker. But you know, we had an option basically. We had two options with our Disney categories, and basically Once Upon a Christmas or something else that would have been very similar. Just okay, it's the Disney characters as these guys, and that's kind of what it evolved to. But yeah, I think Once Upon a Christmas had like a little more dimension to it.
Well, yeah. Are you talking the sing along? Is that what you're like?
Well, if you want to say it, sure, yeah, sing along.
Because yeah, I think it's fair to say that Once Upon a Christmas had more dimension than the sing along would have.
Again, it's like three simple vignettes that were.
You know what? Adventure Blue Dude and I still might record that podcast as a little bonus, though. I won't label it under seasonal shenanigans. I'll label it under talking Mr. Pink, but we might do that.
All right. Okay, let's see. So then our specials category, which then was, if I'm correct, Gotham.
Yeah, which that was honestly probably my favorite hypothetical that we've ever done.
You know, I'm not going to mention it here. I don't want to date this thing.
What?
I was gonna ask because for the life of me, I cannot think of what our second. There's one of our hypotheticals that's in my head missing because I can't remember what it was. But for Christmas in July, we had another hypothetical. I can't remember what it was.
Well, me and Adventure Blue Dude did Gravity Falls.
That's it. Oh, that's why I couldn't remember because I wasn't involved in it.
Right.
Okay. Thank you for. Okay, never mind. So it's not dated. Now I know.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
but seriously, I really, really enjoyed. Like, I thought I came up with some really good stuff. You obviously went to town on it. You kind of came up with a magnus opus of your own. So that was some good creativity. It was a 3-hour plus podcast. So
only regret
it. But.
I only got 2 regrets with that thing. I wish I could have again because we put it off for preparation for it. It was just
my fault.
Because we put it off and the ideas kind of compiled. My third act is a little sloppy. But my biggest regret is that not my biggest regret. I'm saying that was kind of the biggest regret. My other regret was, and again, I don't want to point fingers. Just I feel bad I didn't deliver that first act as good as I wanted it to. That opening.
Well, yeah, but keep in mind, I also was distracted, so it was kind of both.
Because I was very proud of that opening. I think I still hold it as that was a great opening. Like I don't know, because it was a little distracting in the room. We both kind of dropped the ball on that one.
Okay, so what's next?
Then we have our film category for our final.
Twas the Night.
Twas the Night, of course, the Fantastic Grinch and the Christmas Extravaganza.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like quite as over the top entertaining as you were hyping it up just because of the Disney Channel stuff, but it was still really good. It was very, very fun.
Grants and Santa, and again, a little Santa science behind that one, which basically our last weekend was full of great Santa science. It really was.
Oh yeah.
So then, of course, we had our Santa Claus 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which weekend was better than not better than expected, right? You would
it's the weakest of the 3, but it's still got some really good stuff in it. I mean, the ending is pretty much Back to the Future Part 2, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Jack Frost is really entertaining throughout the whole thing. It's got some really good redeeming qualities.
Yeah, and throughout the whole trilogy, but especially that one scene in the third one, this dramatic Tim Allen acting is just
of course.
Again, that's the main reason I can encourage anyone to check out Santa Claus 3 just for that 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, it's a great fantastic minute within that movie. And again, there's some interesting ideas in that movie too. And the third act's great. Of that movie. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. So then our Disney category, which is Prep and Landing, which I think you liked.
I enjoyed that one a lot. I think that I think it's a shame that not more people know about it because I would wager to say just the quality of it alone kind of makes it sort of a modern classic.
Oh yeah, I make a point of it to watch it every year because it's fantastic. I think again, it's like getting an additional Pixar Christmas special. Again, that's
exactly what it is, right?
That's the thing, because again, technically, just want to make it clear, not a Pixar film, but in the spirit of like kind of the new direction.
It feels so much like Pixar, though.
Which is a great thing to say. It feels classic Pixar. the new Disney
No,
films
it
and the
feels like
special.
Cars 2 Pixar. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I felt like I undermined you there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. You did. Okay, moving on. So, and of course, our last one, which brought us here today, the Grinch, which was kind of our big, kind of our retrospective slash kind of our grand special, kind of our iconic one. We kind of like to end off on, which I think went pretty well.
Yeah, just lots of good memories there. This thing, I don't know. It's hard to talk about this thing without just being like, oh, that was good, and that was good. And
That's the thing. There's really no mistakes. I mean, okay, there is actually one very minor negative.
How dare you?
I'm just saying, it's a thing with the Chuck Jones style that, yeah, there's sometimes the continuity, like sometimes Grinch is off model. When I say off model, it's that he changes model. It's like the design is like a different drawing per.
That's true. That's true.
Again, that's the only negative, really. That's a stylistic thing, so it's not even a negative. That's really the only thing you can say remotely not amazing about this special.
Yeah, so I think
even
overall,
bad. It's not amazing. It's like look at some of the great Jack Kirby, Fantastic Four artist. That was his style thing. He crafted some of those dynamic, iconic images you'll ever see. But again, he had very poor sense of continuity. They would change from this to this, and it was still great.
Right. Okay, so I guess that about wraps it up then.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, so I'm just trying to prolong the inevitable because I had so much fun talking about seasonal shenanigans. But yeah, unfortunately, we reached our end, folks. So, well, kids,
It's okay. It's okay, BlueDragonFive. We'll be back in fucking July.
we will. But seasonal shenanigans is different, though.
Yeah, I know. But there's more Christmas stuff to come.
Let's just hype. Again, because we're not peeking beneath the wrapping paper, let's just say, folks, as producers, we'll changing our categories up a little bit and kind of like planning. Eventually, we have some neat ideas for the next year.
Oh, go ahead and tell them our neat ideas.
No, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to tell them we got some neat ideas in the works.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, kids, time to dash away all. But as we wave goodbye, don't you cry. We'll be back again next time.
With even more seasonal shenanigans.
Fa la 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 la. You're a mean one.
Given the choice between you, I'd take the seasick
Seasick
crocodile.
crocodile.